We got Gators Breakdown here. We know we're business.
Gators Breakdown. Because there's never a dull moment in Gator Nation.
Oh, and that never dull moment means a Gators Breakdown after dark. Here we are, almost 1 o'clock in the morning, heading into, it's Friday. Florida's got the Gasparilla Bowl today. But here we are, just because there's never a dull moment, talking about a transfer. J. Michael Sturdivant transferring from UCLA to Florida. Right here, I guess he's still on that West Coast time since he's out there, UCLA. Giving us a late night commitment right here for the Gators. So, hey, we'll take the good news when we can get it. I know the Thursday's been kind of exciting anyway with all the potential news of Dallas Wilson becoming a Florida Gator, getting his release there from Oregon. So we'll see where that goes. I was trying to plan on that episode for most of the day, trying to see if it would be finalized on that Thursday. But no. Right before the clock strikes on Friday, we get this big-time news. Gators now get their second transfer portal commit. And it's J. Michael Sturdivant right here, transferring one more time from UCLA to Florida. So good news. All right. I'm David Waters, host of Gators Breakdown. Thanks for joining me right here on this late night as a Gators Breakdown after dark. Kind of impromptu surprise episode here, of course, because of didn't know this. Figured it might come now after we'll get in kind of the storyline where the trip to Georgia probably wasn't going to happen for Sturdivant. Florida felt good coming out of the visit. We'll get into all that, but didn't know it would come this late on the Thursday night. So good stuff right there. The good news. So hey, since it is good news, I know you like it. So hit that like button. You like the news, like the content we're bringing you out here on Gators Breakdown. This Gators Breakdown After Dark edition. So thanks for everybody in here with no idea I'm doing an episode this late that you're in here joining me for this episode of Gators Breakdown. So while you're in here, hit that like button. If you're watching the replay, hit that like button. But either way, subscribe right here on YouTube if you haven't done so yet, or your favorite podcast platform if you're listening on the podcast version. So that'll really, really help us out. And then one more thing, just because I know it took off today. And if you can, I know it's a holiday season. Money might be getting stretched a little thin here, but a great opportunity right here to build up Florida Victorious. Get 20% off your first month using promo code GatorsBD. But the big news for Florida Victorious today, while we're talking recruiting and while we're talking transfer portal, look, we know you got to pay to win. That's just, we can say it now, and nothing's going to be done about it. We know what's happening. So right now, Gator Nation, the big news from Florida Victorious today, 2 generous donors are matching all football designated gifts to Florida Victorious, dollar for dollar, up to $1 million. Wow. So any donation made to Florida Victorious for football from December 19th until January 17th will be counted in this effort. So let's get it there. Let's get it to January 17th. Let's get the $1 million match right here. And I think already in just one day, I saw Nick De La Torre put it out there, already at halfway. So let's keep it going. You want to win if you can. Look, if you can't, all well and good. If you don't believe in the paying the players and all that stuff, hey, that's all well and good too. I get that angle of it. I absolutely do. Can't tell you how to spend your money. Don't want to tell you how you spend your money. But if you believe in all this that contributes to winning, then absolutely. And you can get something out of it too. Nick's at Florida Victorious now doing a great job with that content. You can get to a deal too. 20% off your first month using promo code GatorsBD. So, all right. Let me get some comments right here. You guys are joining me here. So mine as well. Let's get in here. And El Wolf, I'm here waiting. Another late night podcast. Go Gators. Joey says, good morning. Go Gators. Buddy Waters says, what are you doing up so late? Good day, though. Dallas Wilson came to his senses, got to UCLA wide receiver. Christmas came early. Muddy, it's funny, man. I wrapped up some stuff here in the office. Went and sat on the couch before I was getting ready to go to bed. I really was. I was checking the phone one more time. And boom, we get the news of Sturdivant committing to the Gators. So I said, you know what? Let's just go with it. I'm going to be up late, so let's go. So, hey, like I said, I enjoy this, guys. Like I said, the moment it's not fun, I won't do it anymore. It's got to be fun if I'm here at, almost 1 o'clock in the morning, giving you the guys this stuff. Getting ready for a big game tomorrow, Gators Bowl, Gasparilla Bowl game. So, hey, it's just what we're at right now. Q Lee says, yes, sir. Allie Perry, hey, man, welcome back. Never a dull moment, Dave. Jordan Kelly, hey, Dave, can't stay for the entire thing, but wanted to pop in and say, go Gators. Official beat Tulane day. Got to be up. I'll definitely listen to the rest of the episode on the podcast. Joey comes back in. Night shifters enjoy shows like this so we can chat live. Okay, I'll try to remember that for you guys as much as I can. The only reason, if I can. Muddy Waters. Only reason I'm up so late is because my mom is making me draw her a tree for Christmas. So draw a tree. Okay. I'm not really sure what that means, but okay. Johnny Reyes chiming in on the Florida Victorious thing. Football only. We're halfway through, apparently. I remind them that it is tax deductible. Yep. Let's see. All right. I want to get to this. I'll come back to some comments. Everybody, I know excited, jumping in here with all that good news. But let's get to it right here. And UCLA transfer J. Michael Sturdivant committing to the Gators, visited Florida last weekend. And some thought the commitment could come during or right after the visit, but it took a little longer than that, of course. And a few days later, here we are. It doesn't matter. He's a Gator. We mentioned earlier in the week that Georgia, Miami could get into the mix, but it looks like Georgia's focus was on Kentucky wide receiver transfer Dane Key. Looked like they were focused on him a bit more. So as a transfer prospect, 24/7 Sports has Sturdivant as the number 101 overall ranked transfer and number 23 wide receiver. He's the 25th wide receiver on 3. He's originally from Dallas, but then spent his career on the West Coast in the state of California. He will enter his 5th collegiate year coming up here and there for the Gators. So let's pop up some stats. He began his college football career with the Cal Golden Bears, where he redshirted in 2021 after playing 4 games in his true freshman season. The following year, he played and started all 12 games, recording 755 yards, 7 touchdowns in his first meaningful year starting. He earned first team freshman All-American honors from The Athletic, College Football News, and the Football Writers Association of America. He led the nation's freshmen in receptions and receptions per game with 5.4 and receiving yards, while ranking second receiving yards per game with 62.9 and tied for second in touchdown receptions. Right there as a redshirt freshman. So he then he transferred to UCLA in 2023. His total time with the Bruins, he tallied 912 receiving yards, 58 receptions, 6 touchdowns across 24 games. The 6'3" wideout made an immediate impact in his first season at UCLA in that 2023 season. 597 receiving yards, 36 receptions, and 4 touchdowns. His impressive 16.58 yards per catch ranked 6th in the Pac-12, showcasing that big playability. But, however, you shouldn't use both of those together. However, Sturdivant's numbers declined this year. He ranked 5th on the team in receiving yards at UCLA. Remember, there was a coaching change. He ranked 5th on the team in receiving yards. That was 3rd among the wide receivers with 315 yards and 2 touchdowns. His yards per catch average fell by 2.3 from 2023, leading to criticism of the sense. Of course, you go look at what UCLA's done. Already fired offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. He was getting criticized for how he was using J. Michael Sturdivant. getting criticized for not utilizing Sturdivant's speed, his size effectively as a deep threat. He did manage 2 100-plus yard receiving games this season. And look, you go look at UCLA, didn't have a ton of support around J. Michael Sturdivant. Sturdivant was getting a lot of draft love coming into this season. Returned to UCLA anyway. But didn't have a lot of supporting talent around him. Senior quarterback Ethan Garbers was really, really inconsistent. The rushing attack, not really there. The rest of UCLA's receiving core, kind of pedestrian. There's not a lot of help there either. So, standing at 6'3", 205 pounds, Sturdivant displays a nice blend of size and speed. And look, I think ideal for that X spot for the Gators, which Florida's looking for with Elijah Badger on his way out. So that X spot for the Gators and test down the field. Guys, he ran a 4.38 40-yard dash at UCLA. And you're going to need a big physical cornerback to play with him. He's had flashes. Now we just need to see that consistency that we saw from him before. And maybe how I'm looking at it, a change of scenery, that's all that's needed. Hard to really know what to make of the situation this past season with the coaching change at UCLA. Remember, Chip Kelly went out. So they had to bring a whole new staff in. And it kind of reminds me of the Chimere DK situation in some ways. You had a productive season, stuck around for a coaching change. That change didn't work out best in repeating success. You know, that the success you were having under that previous staff, you couldn't replicate it with the new staff. Chimere DK transfers to Florida, and a revelation. Pretty good, consistent wide receiver for the Gators. Hopefully that's what Florida's getting here in more of the Elijah Badger role with J. Michael Sturdivant. So let's go back a little bit. He made Bruce Feldman's 2023 Freaks list at number 79. And this is what he wrote about Sturdivant. 6'3", 206-pound sophomore is the most gifted wideout the Bruins have had in the Chip Kelly era. Sturdivant has topped out at 23.2 miles per hour and also bench pressed close to 300 pounds and squatted almost 400 pounds this offseason. So that's the kind of package you're getting right there. NFL draft buzz. So remember, like I said, he was getting some draft love. And they do a pretty good job at detailing the players for the NFL draft. So NFL Draft Buzz notes that Sturdivant's strengths are he's a long strider who eats up cushion quickly, allowing him to threaten defenses vertically and create space underneath. Displays good body control and adjustment skills when tracking deep balls, maximizing his catch radius. Effective at using his frame to box out defenders on contested catches, particularly in the red zone. Shows promise as a route runner with smooth breaks and the ability to find soft spots against his own coverage. Versatile enough to line up both outside and in the slot, giving offensive coordinators flexibility in formations. Demonstrates willingness as a blocker in the run game, using his size to engage smaller defensive backs. Special teams experience adds value. He might get on the field in a couple ways. Chimere DK, remember what he did this past year for the Gators? There you go. Might be getting another. We've seen Billy Napier value experience in that punt returner role. And think about it. It's been transfer wide receiver so far who's been a punt returner for Florida. Ricky Pearsall, Chimere DK. Could your next one be J. Michael Sturdivant? We'll see. Scouting report for his weaknesses. Needs to improve consistency in his hands, as concentration drops have been an issue throughout his college career. Can struggle to create separation against physical press coverage, relying too heavily on his size advantage. Route tree is still developing, with room for improvement in creating crisp breaks and selling fakes. Despite his straight line speed, lacks elite short area quickness to consistently win in small spaces. After the catch ability is limited, often going down on first contact rather than creating additional yardage. to me, that's going to be one of the biggest differences from what we saw Elijah Badger do coming in. To me, after the catchability coming from Arizona State was really good. Now, a lot of times we didn't see it because he would catch a ball down the field and get tackled right before he got to the end zone. But I'm more talking about catching the ball in the short range and short intermediate range and trying to make something happen. Now, he did have that one pop pass against later in the season. I can't if it was the LSU or Ole Miss. He had that one pop pass and he made a ton of guys miss. I think it was the Ole Miss game, but I could be misremembering that. But had that pop pass, it made some guys miss, and I thought we might see more of that. So it's going to be interesting to see how J. Michael Sturdivant gets used in this with the first contact going down easily there. But hey, look, if you're catching the ball 40, 50 yards down the field, I think I can live with that. I think that's going to be a lot of his role there. So the scouting report that NFL Draft Buzz gave, summary. Here's the summary. Sturdivant projects as the developmental X receiver with the potential to contribute early as a deep threat and red zone target. His combination of size and speed will intrigue NFL teams looking for a player who can stretch the field vertically and create mismatches. While he may not be an immediate wide receiver one, now remember we're talking NFL here. While he may not be an immediate wide receiver one, Sturdivant has the tools to develop into a valuable piece of an NFL passing attack. Scheme fit will be crucial for Sturdivant's success at the next level. He would thrive in an offense that emphasizes play, action, passes, and deep shots, allowing him to use his long speed to get behind defenses. A team with a strong, armed quarterback and an established short to intermediate threat could maximize Sturdivant's big play ability while he continues to refine the nuances of his game. Tell me that doesn't sound like Florida's offense. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better explanation for. Now, they're talking pros here, but still, when you're looking at type of offenses he's going to fit in, they just describe Billy Napier's offense to a T. Keep it on here. Sturdivant's track background adds another layer of intrigue to his NFL potential. His impressive performances in the 100 meters, a 10.39, 200 meters, a 21.23, and a long jump, 22.10 and a quarter, at the Texas 6A state meet demonstrates his elite athleticism. His track pedigree suggests untapped potential in his ability to accelerate, maintain top speed, and make explosive plays in the open field. NFL teams will likely view his track achievements as evidence of his raw athletic ability and an indicator of his capacity to develop into more of a dynamic receiver with proper coaching. I think you can see some of that at Florida too. I think that everything we just heard from a draft profile, I think translates very well to what you're looking at getting at Sturdivant at Florida. So getting some NFL draft love heading into this past season. And now, look, it'll be up to Florida to tap back into that potential, up to Sturdivant to put in the necessary work. But given that right there, that sounds like just an ideal fit for what Florida's looking for in a transfer wide receiver. I don't think you could ask for a better draft evaluation, player evaluation, because of what Florida's losing and what Florida needs. You knew you needed a big-bodied receiver. You know you needed a downfield threat receiver. Had a down year this past season. As I said, it's hard to know how much to factor in the coaching change that went on there at UCLA and how much that affected him. I would say a pretty good bit. Now, maybe I'm looking at that in orange and blue glasses, but it makes a lot of sense. So, in the end, I'm thinking Florida's probably got another pretty good transfer wide receiver coming in again. Pearsall, DK, Badger. I like the potential of this one. And then let's keep it going. Pretty good evaluation there. Florida may not be done Of course, coming up this weekend, former 5-star Jonte Cook, another transfer, him from Texas. He'll be on campus this coming weekend. It's like Florida's still going to be bringing and entertaining the idea of bringing in 2 transfer wide receivers, even with the big news, of course, coming out on Thursday. The 5-star wide receiver, Dallas Wilson, who had been committed to Oregon, almost flipped to Florida on signing day, is now probably more than likely going to end up being a Gator, I would say, in the next day or so. I'd say at least by the end of the weekend. So just in a short few days, could add up to 2 receivers to the roster. Maybe 3 with Cook as another transfer. But I think you got to like what you're seeing at the wide receiver spot right now. So certainly, I could have went live at any moment. I was kind of waiting for the official word before really saying much about Wilson. And not necessarily just because of what happened on signing day, but kind of my rule of thumb anyway. And I'm not really going to, just look. I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. Now, I've said plenty of times, there's never for sure in recruiting anymore. And it was almost a for sure thing to happen on signing day. But like I said, just kind of going to wait for the official word. Well, I've kind of done that anyway with the official word. I thought it would happen. Never mind. I thought it could happen on Thursday, and that would happen. But hey, look, another advantage of being a Gators Breakdown Plus member on Tuesday, we started talking about this being as a possibility that Wilson may be having interest. Now, we weren't the only ones. I'm not going to sit here and claim we were the only ones right there. But we're certainly one of the early ones to have that conversation of Dallas Wilson maybe having a change of heart and wanting to be in Gainesville. So you can join. You can have those conversations, those same conversations. Gators Breakdown Plus, link is in the description. Get access to that Discord where, hey, there might be some inside information there. I'm not going to say we build the Discord on that. It's not what it's known for, but it filters in from time to time. So good stuff there. But kind of on top of that one, but kind of had to quiet it down. Didn't want to mess this one up this time. But hey, look, in the next few days, next couple of days, next few days, I'd expect Dallas Wilson in the class. So we'll have a hopefully big episode with him joining the class, not with him. But we'll be looking forward to that. But of course, Gators, Tulane, Gasparilla Bowl on Friday will certainly be post-game in that one. But hey, this is really good news. Get another football game to cover. Transfer portal hopefully should be showing some more signs here. Like I said, just a little bit of patience, as we talked about earlier this week. Wasn't really time for panic. Just a week after the portal opens, should start seeing some good things. This one right here being one of them. Now, of course, this is just a second transfer commit for the Gators. Joining Michigan transfer punter Tommy Doman. But I think that number will start rising pretty soon. Now, this will be the final weekend coming up that Florida can host guys for the transfer portal. As we said, Cook could be on campus. Another wide receiver there. We'll see who else ends up on campus for the Gators. Certainly won't be the only one. But there we go. Good stuff. Let me go into the comment section one more time before I sign off here on this episode. All right. So let me get to the starred comment here. Thank you, Dave, for coming on. Go Gators. Hey, Mike Nix, thank you very, very much. Certainly appreciated. Late night, I wanted to. Pretty good. Pretty good numbers for 1 o'clock in the morning. A little bit of Gators breakdown after dark. I wonder if we should make that like a normal thing. I saw the message earlier. Maybe one night somewhere along the week, do one Gators breakdown after dark episode. Maybe if it's a scheduled thing, people will come in a little bit more. Yeah, Mike, thanks so much. Hell yeah, thank you so much for this. Love you, brother. Hey, man, back at you. It's an exciting time right now. Exciting time. Chris R. This is a great time for a show since I'm in Oregon. I'm usually at work when you go live, Dave. Thanks for all you do. Hey, there we go. Some more Oregon love. Right there. Hey, well, I'm glad you guys are enjoying the late night episode. I really am. I really am. Okay, let's go through some more comments here. I gotta quit with the when I'm looking for comments. I'm gonna find something else to use as a crutch. Allie Perry says, "What a difference 6 weeks can make. Go Gators." Certainly, Allie or Ollie. Allie, Ollie. You have to tell me how I was supposed to be saying that, but yeah, man, for sure. Ending the season with a 3-game winning streak, a chance to end it with 4 with this bowl game. That certainly made a huge impact to go along with the vote of confidence. And I know for a fact, and talking to some local recruits here in the Jacksonville area, that really, really resonated, that vote of confidence that Billy Napier was going to be here. I think we saw that go through the transfer or through the end of the recruiting cycle, along with the wins. I mean, to me, I think the wins counted more than anything else. But pair all those things together, and it's made for a very exciting 6 weeks. We've seen our team win. We've seen our team have a heck of a finish to the recruiting class. That's not even done. We maybe get some really good news soon with Dallas Wilson joining the class as well. And look, I think the transfer portal will end up being pretty good too. So, yeah, it's been a fun last month and a half of the season. Eddie says, and I'm sure everybody saw this, Charlie Strong was at practice. He says, we need Charlie Strong back as a defensive analyst. I will say I do think if Charlie Strong was on the staff, it would be in that capacity, nothing more. Don Gluckner, hope I'm saying that right, or Dan Gluckner, hope I'm saying that right. Wide receiver room is stacked. It's getting there. It's getting there. They're going to be being able to count on a lot of guys. You add Dallas Wilson to what you already had in Vernell Brown III, Nashawn Montgomery, Concura, the big body receiver that they got. Add to what Florida already had on the roster. I mean, you certainly that you got a lot of variety there. I like that about the room. Now some more experience as well. Now guys that are going to have and guys that were recruited. Now look, we're talking about hitting the transfer portal here in this episode, right? It is still time for your Trey Wilsons, your Aiden Mizels, other guys that you've recruited. They need to step up as well. This doesn't need to be a revolving door of transfers every single year. You've had to have it at the receiver position. Hopefully, moving forward, you won't have to rely so much. Because we've looked at receivers like, hey, we've got to have that guy. We got to have that downfield threat. We got to have a proven downfield threat because you haven't had it. And you kind of say, well, how are you going to get it? Look, Marcus Burks had plenty of chances to go earn a role like that. We haven't seen it. It was Elijah Badger coming in right away and being the guy right away. Hopefully, Aiden Mizell this coming up year can show some things. I'm looking for the recruited guys to really start showing out this coming up season. You got the quarterback to do so. You got the quarterback. You got the signal caller. You got the point man to help all these receivers out. There ain't going to be much excuses for anybody in that room anymore. It's going to be a competitive room. As you said, it's going to be a stacked room. May the best man win. Kind of going to that same point. Matthew Walker, Orange and Blue football coverage. DJ Lagway smiling ear to ear about 2025. 4 starters on the offensive line returning. Weapons all over the field. Like I said, I like what I like what I see in J. Michael Sturdivant. I mean, there's a ton of receivers in the portal. There's a lot to like about a lot of these guys. Honestly. There really is. There's a ton of those guys in here. You got somebody with experience. That's a plus. And maybe. Now this isn't look, this is me connecting too many dots. It's me kind of jokingly saying this. But it's another West Coast receiver. Now, this one's not from Arizona State. But maybe, just maybe, the West Coast vibes keep on at this receiver spot. Pearsall, Badger, and now another one who played ball. Now, he's from Texas, but played ball in California, was Sturdivant here. So hopefully the West Coast love at the receiver spot. You get that kind of production again that we've become accustomed to seeing in the transfer portal. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Lagway's got to be you got a stable of backs, offensive lineman returning, like you said, and more importantly, experience for Lagway to build on. I mean, he doesn't have to. There's not a lot of new pieces. Like, guys, remember, him and Jaden Ball were true freshmen starting games together. Him and Jaden Ball are going to be second-year players next year, starting games together with an experienced offensive line in front of them. Receivers that can make plays, bringing in receivers in the transfer portal. There's a lot to like about this Florida team next year. There really is. And we've talked about it. DJ Lagway's going to be on Heisman list. Florida's going to be in that top half, hopefully upper top half. Now, predictions aren't going to mean anything. Of course, they weren't right about Florida this year in Vegas in that over-under total. That's going to be a lot higher. But Florida's going to be in that upper half of the SEC coming up this year. And hopefully pretty high. How did they handle the expectations? How did they handle some of the pats on the back in the offseason? It's been a while. It's been a while since Florida's had those. I think you got the right mindset, especially with so many of your contributors returning. These guys know they haven't experienced a lot of success in quite some time. Yeah, you've had a nice end to this season, but let's not act like that's the finish line. There's still a ways to go. And I think this team and I think this program knows that. But it really starts with the signal caller, him feeling comfortable with all the guys around him. And look, what he do? He can make all those guys better. He can make all those guys better. Xavier Kill, let Billy cook, baby. That's right. Vibes, Live Chicago. Yes, sir. Scott, I'd like to share yours, but this is kind of family-friendly show most of the time. So I like the comment, though. Muddy Waters, when do you expect Wilson to officially sign to Florida? Do you expect any drama along the way? This whole situation reminds me of Cormani McClain. Persistent pays off. Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I expect it done pretty soon. But this whole situation around reminding you of Cormani McClain, let's throw some more names in that. DeAndre Robinson, the defensive lineman last cycle. Jameer Grimsley, Pup Howard, Cormani McClain. Certainly. This is why you keep on the guys. This is why you let them. I know people say, well, why are we letting this guy visit? It was just a waste of money. He's taking advantage of Florida. Not in today's college football. I know I sound like a broken record, but you let these kids visit as many times as they want. You keep those relationships good as much as you possibly can because of situations like that. It can pay off down the road. And in this crazy, crazy free agency that we're finding ourselves in college football, it's been paying off for Florida to come back around on a lot of guys that had interest in them and they had interest in before. And it could be paying off one more time here. All right, let's see. Let's wrap up. Get to some more comments. We'll wrap it up. Tony Baker says, just stopping by to say, can't wait till the Wilson edit drops. Excited for the bowl today. Happy with all the new Gators. Go Gators. The commitment to Gator football is unmatched here. Thank you much. Thank you much. OB, go Gators beat Tulane. Muddy Waters, hey, if you play for Chip Kelly, you know he's fast. Xavier, oh my God, he ran a what? Yeah, you might want to go back and listen to that because that's what I found on those draft sites. So there you go. Yeah, 4.38 crazy. Yeah, it is a crazy time, Ty, but that's what I found there. Not me making it up. OB just needs to come in and work in Napier's offense. He'll certainly need to be an unselfish blocker. Yeah, I'd like hearing that too. Brian Fisher, thanks, man, hopping in too. We got to open up this offense with all these game breakers at receiver. It will be interesting. Like I love what Florida has in the backfield at running back, but yeah, I mean you've recruited towards it kind of with the receivers you've brought in. you're adding to it now. But yeah, I mean, you tell me you're bringing in a Dallas Wilson and a VB3 and Trey Wilson returning and Mizell returning. I mean, yeah. If that's going to be, let's not forget the most important part. The quarterback that you got there has got a rocket forward arm. Let's open it up. Now, maybe we would have seen it a little bit more. I mean, we saw it some. Likeway did get hurt. Maybe that tempered it a little bit. So we'll see what happens in that regard. I hope it does as well. Fred Perry, we got him. How about them Gators? Defense side now need a number one cornerback, or also called a lockdown corner. National champions, easy. Ooh, easy. Fred late night here feeling good. Gators. Or Gators. I get to that. Seems more like a purely deep threat, contested catch guy. Don't see him being a do everything type of guy. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, I like the draft, the little draft guide or draft evaluation. Certainly, I think more to unlock there, which what Florida has done for these transfer wide receivers. Maybe there's another little angle to his game the staff can unlock. Gators kind of go into that. He should have produced more with his size and athleticism, either mentally weak or was misused. Like I said, I'm going to pour on some orange and blue goggles and say misused. Yeah, Joe M. And look, like I said, I went and found the thoughts that I saw about Eric Bieniemy, the former Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator under Andy Reid, him being the offensive coordinator at UCLA. Kind of going to this point that you just made. I just saw a tweet from a UCLA fan saying they wasted him for 2 years. That's the vibe and stuff I got from the UCLA side as well. That they didn't put it on Sturdivant of why there was a lack of production. They put it on the guys around him. Now, that doesn't mean they're right or wrong. We'll see. But a lot of people feel like he was misused there. Okay, good stuff. Hey, we kind of had this conversation earlier, Brian, on the Discord. No, never mind. It was another chat room I'm in with some friends, Gator friends. Vernell, Wilson, EG3, Montgomery, 96 vibes. Yeah, I didn't forget Stephen Geyer. Well done, Dave. Thanks for staying up late. Hey guys, appreciate you. Yep. Fred, thanks. Xavier, thanks, guys. Brad, thanks. Merry Christmas from Knoxville. Good stuff. Chomp from Oregon says, Brandon, any chance on keeping seriously? Ask Oscar. Yeah, I don't think that was completely done. Put his name in the portal. Of course, did TJ seriously? We talked about earlier this week. But yeah, I think I'm not saying he ends back up at Florida, but I think there's a chance. He's not playing tomorrow, though, Savage. You're hearing TJ seriously playing tomorrow. No, he didn't make the trip to Tampa. But maybe he can come back. Then you said like DG, which is Damian George. Now, the story on Damian George is kind of weird. It's kind of coming out. He never even intended to enter the transfer portal. It was bad agent news. An agent put it out. Not the first time. Now, Tulane, I forget the name. I put it in the preview. If you guys haven't listened to the bowl preview, but Tulane had a defensive back go through the same thing. An agent put out that he was entering the transfer portal when he wasn't. So he's playing in the Gasparilla Bowl. Kind of crazy. Jabari, Dave, we appreciate you. Late night show. Yeah, guys, thanks so much. I could be reading the comments. L Wolf, OG Gators podcaster, we appreciate you. It's a crowded world right there right now. It'd be hard to break through, but sure. I enjoy doing it, guys. Okay. Mike Nick says, am I dreaming, Dave? How many stars is he? I believe he was a 4-star originally, if you're talking about Sturdivant. I don't know what the re-rank was for how many stars he was as a transfer. I just knew where he was ranked. Like I said, in that 23, 25 range as far as receivers go. And Mike Nick's going, Billy and staff will coach him up. For sure. Last one. Oscar DeFore, his Lagway fully healthy. I won't necessarily say fully, but much better than he was. Getting some rest after this game. Let it rest some more. That's about the best thing for hamstrings anyway. But he's getting taken care of in many other ways with that. And, the treatment that Florida's had been doing. That's why he was able to come back so fast. All that good stuff. Gary Rothwell, his last one right here. Met you in Jax with Rattler Gator using the koozie. Great show. And I love giving those things away around football season. Gary, man, thanks for hopping in. Thanks for saying hello. Nice meeting you in Jax. Hopefully in Jax, there'll be some more wins in that city. Well, not many more games coming up in the coming years there for Florida, Georgia, of course. The last one coming up this year before Tampa and Atlanta for Florida, Georgia. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hopping on here late night. That'll do it for this episode of Gators Breakdown. I'm your host, David Waters. You can find me on social media at GatorDave_SEC. Guys and girls out there, thank you for joining me on this episode of Gators Breakdown.